Thank you for choosing the American Rock Chip Kit. We're sure that by reading the manual and following the detailed instructions in this video, you'll soon be able to repair any type of damage to a windshield. First, let's examine the kit and become familiar with the tools used for windshield repair. The Millennium Bridge Assembly is the device used to inject resin into the damaged area of the windshield. It consists of 5 main parts: the rubber suction cup with lever, the rear set screw, the injector, the insert which fits in the injector, and the plate which holds all the parts together. There are 2 rubber seals that are used with the bridge assembly. The first is a small O-ring used to seal around the insert as resin is injected into a chip. The second is the end seal, which seals the injector over the pit. The probe is used to clean glass dust out of a pit and also for probing the cracks of a star brake. The lighter is used for heating the glass. The Wizard rechargeable drill motor is used for drilling holes in the center of a star brake or small crack. The Wizard may also be used to clean the pit area of a bullseye. The transparent thin plastic pieces of curing film included in the kit are placed over the resin before curing. The ultraviolet light has a suction cup to attach it to the windshield over the repair area for curing. This item is only used when the sun is not shining or the vehicle is indoors. Here are the razor blades used to scrape off excess resin. Safety goggles are included for eye protection while performing repairs. The gloves will be valuable to individuals with a skin sensitivity to resin products, and of course, we can't repair a windshield without resin. There are 2 types included in your kit. Our American thin resin is used for the injection process, and the thick resin is used for filling the pit and finalizing the repair. The handy carrying case conveniently holds all the items we've just mentioned, everything you need for windshield repairs. Windshield repair is simply the process of injecting resin into the damaged portion of the glass. As you read in your training manual, windshields are made up of 2 layers of glass. All repairs to a windshield are done to the outer layer only. The lamination behind the outer layer allows you to force resin under pressure into the damaged area. If a windshield were just 1 layer of glass, it would be impossible to inject resin into a chip without making a mess inside the vehicle. There are 2 precautions to take when performing windshield repairs. First, always remember that glass is fragile. It's possible to crack a windshield during a repair. And second, be aware that the lamination can become soft or even liquefied from both heat and time. The training manual shows you not only how to perform perfect repairs, but also how to avoid the costly mistakes that some technicians make during the repair process. In this video, you'll learn the basic steps of repairing a windshield. If you have not read the repair manual, it may be difficult to understand some of these steps. Therefore, we highly recommend that you read the training manual before watching this video. Rocks and road debris can cause 2 basic types of damage to a windshield. These are the bullseye chip and the star brake chip. Sometimes both types occur at the same time. We refer to this as a combination bullseye star brake. Let's begin with the bullseye. The simplest way to repair a bullseye is to use what's called the heating method. We do not recommend that you heat the windshield on a hot sunny day. Feel the glass with your hand. If it's already hot, simply follow all of the instructions for repairing a bullseye, with the exception of heating the glass. First, we mount the Millennium Bridge over the bullseye. The bridge is positioned on the glass so the pit can be seen directly in the center of the injector. We use the lever to lock the bridge in position. Before we bring the injector down over the pit, go inside the vehicle and heat the bullseye a little at a time until the glass is nearly too hot to touch with the back of the index finger. Next, we'll bring the injector and the rear set screw down on the glass until the Millennium Bridge is tight on the windshield. Now, fill the injector with about 7 drops of resin. Place the insert in the injector, and with small fractions of a turn, slowly drive the resin down into the bullseye. When you see the resin reach the outer edge of the bullseye, reverse the direction of the insert with 3 fast flick turns. This creates vacuum and removes air from the bullseye. As you learned in your manual, 3 fast flick turns is equal to about 2 full turns of the insert. After waiting about 10 seconds, repeat the preceding step. Bring the pressure down again until the resin just reaches the outer border of the bullseye and vacuum the air out with 3 fast flick turns. Once again, wait about 10 seconds and bring the pressure down for the 3rd and final time. This time, leave the pressure on the bullseye for about 30 seconds. Again, watch closely to make sure the resin doesn't go beyond the border of the bullseye. Now, take the pressure off by unscrewing the insert. View the bullseye by loosening the injector just enough so that you don't lose the resin. Now, pivot the injector away from the bullseye, and as you can see, the bullseye has nearly disappeared. Obviously, the heating method is very effective, so it would be unusual for you to have any air remaining in the bullseye after a repair. For the rare case that does, the remedy is to simply cure the bullseye under pressure. To do this, bring the pressure back down with your insert. Apply the ultraviolet light to the bullseye by placing it near the insert. Wait 5 minutes, remove the light, and the air should be gone. If the sun is shining, you can cure the bullseye under pressure without the ultraviolet light. Simply bring the pressure down just as you did previously and let the bullseye cure under pressure in the sunlight for 5 minutes. The last step in repairing the bullseye is to cure the pit. Remove the injector and wipe away the excess resin. Now, apply the pit sealer resin and place a small curing film directly over the resin. Direct the ultraviolet light at the pit and wait 3 minutes. Feel the pit through the curing film. It should be hard to the touch. Now remove the film and with a circular motion scrape off the resin with the razor blade and the repair is complete. Again, if the sun is shining, you won't need to use the ultraviolet light. The resin will cure even with a minimal amount of sunlight. To repair a star break, drill directly into the center of the pit, about 3/4 of the way through the first layer of glass. Blow the loose glass residue from the hole. Now mount the Millennium injector and align the Millennium Bridge so the hole can be seen directly in the center of the injector. Next, bring the injector and rear set screw down so that the Millennium Bridge is firmly against the windshield. Charge the injector with 6 drops of resin and bring the pressure down with the insert. Again, use small fractions of a turn to have complete control of the repair process. As you can see, resin is beginning to flow into the legs of the star brake. Be sure to look from every possible angle for each leg protruding from the center of the star brake, and now, using the probe, place pressure on each leg one at a time. As the pressure is applied to each leg, you're actually opening the small cracks and allowing resin to flow outward. This is called probing the cracks. Probe all of the legs until the resin has flowed out as far as possible. Using 3 fast flick turns, reverse the insert to vacuum air out of the legs. Leave the injector in the vacuum cycle for about 10 seconds. Next, bring the pressure back down and probe each of the legs for a second time. And now, reverse the insert again to vacuum out the air. After waiting another 10 seconds or so, bring the pressure down for a 3rd time. With pressure on the star brake, probe each of the legs one last time. With the star brake under pressure, go inside the vehicle and carefully heat each leg, and this will help resin flow all the way out to the ends of those legs. It's best to heat the legs until the windshield is nearly too hot to touch with the back of your index finger. Go back outside and view the repair. Remove the pressure, loosen the insert just enough so that you don't lose your resin, and pivot the Millennium Bridge away from the star brake. As you can see, all the legs of the star brake are filled with resin. Remove the injector and wipe away the excess resin. Place a drop of pit sealer resin over the pit. Place a curing film over the resin, and cure the resin in the pit with the ultraviolet light. And once again, if you have even a minimal amount of sunlight, the ultraviolet light is not required. Finally, we use the razor blade to scrape off the hardened resin using a circular motion. Last of all, we'll repair a combination bullseye star brake. Using the drill, clean around the pit area to create a good avenue for the resin to flow. Because the center of a combination brake is the bullseye, it's not necessary to drill into the glass. We can now mount the Millennium Bridge over the pit and, as with the other repairs, charge the injector with 7 drops of resin. Bring the pressure down in small fractions of a turn. As you bring the pressure down, watch closely as the resin flows out to each of the legs of the combination. Use the probe to place pressure on each of the legs, to open them and to let the resin flow outward. As you can see, you are treating this almost the same as a star brake repair. Now proceed with the vacuum process by reversing the insert with 3 fast flick turns. And once again, leave the insert in the vacuum position for about 10 seconds. Next, bring the pressure back down for a second time and probe each of the legs again. Vacuum out the air again with 3 fast flick turns. Next, bring the pressure back down one last time and probe each of the legs, causing the resin to flow out as far as possible. And now that you've probed each of the legs for the 3rd time, use a small amount of heat on the inside of the windshield. It's very important to focus the heat on the outer edges of the combination brake. The center of a combination brake is where the bullseye part of the chip is located. Because heating a bullseye under pressure can cause damage to the lamination of a windshield, it's very important not to heat a combination brake as much as a star brake. And now that you've warmed each of the legs, exit the vehicle and reverse the insert to remove the pressure from the combination. Now examine the repair. Loosen the injector and rear set screw slightly so as not to lose the resin. Next, pivot the Millennium Bridge away from the combination brake, and you'll see that all of the legs and the bullseye portion of the combination are filled with resin. In the event that there is still a small amount of air remaining in the bullseye portion of the combination, simply cure it under pressure as shown in the previous instructions for a bullseye repair. You are now ready to remove the injector and wipe away the resin. Place a drop of pit sealer over the pit. Place a small curing film over the resin and cure the resin with the ultraviolet light for 5 minutes. And now, using the razor blade, scrape off the hardened resin in a circular motion. Clean the repaired area and the process is complete. Of course, if the sun is out, you won't need to use the ultraviolet light for either curing under pressure or curing the pit. You have now seen the basic steps for repair of the most common types of windshield damage. Although you'll find many different types of chips in a windshield, if you apply the steps in your manual and this video, you should have no problem repairing windshield damage of any kind.